Have you ever wondered what really separates success from failure? When everything on the outside looks exactly the same. It's a question that can totally define your entire academic career or a project at work or even just a personal goal you set for yourself. So let's get into this, because the answer, well, it might be a lot simpler and way more powerful than you think.
Okay, so picture this. We've got two students. Both are smart, both are totally capable, and they are starting from the exact same place. They're given the same textbook, they have access to the same resources, pretty much the same information to learn from.
And you guessed it, they are both getting ready for the very same exam. The challenge ahead of them? It could not be more identical.
So the results come in. One of them passes. Maybe they even crushed it, right? They hit their goal. But the other one just gives up. They hit a roadblock and decide, you know what? This struggle just isn't worth it.
So here's the million-dollar question. Why? I mean, if everything on the outside was equal, what was that one thing on the inside that led to two totally different outcomes?
The answer comes down to one single word: mindset. Think of it like your internal operating system. It's the software that dictates how you see and respond to every single challenge that life throws at you. All right, so first, let's break down what the source calls the weak mindset. Now, it's really important to see this not as some kind of character flaw, but more like a series of recognizable patterns, or traps, really, that any of us can fall into. And what's so powerful here is just how specific these patterns are. The weak mindset, it loves to blame others when things go wrong. The professor's awful or the test was totally unfair. It's always looking for ways to avoid discomfort because tough tasks just feel, well, threatening. And the second things get hard, what happens? The escape hatch is right there in our pocket, mindless scrolling on the phone. And finally, it absolutely fears criticism, seeing feedback not as a chance to grow, but as some kind of personal attack. But here's the good news. There is another way. So let's flip the script and look at the alternative, the strong mindset path. And this isn't about being born a certain way. It's a path that you can actually choose and build for yourself. And this just lays out the contrast perfectly. Instead of blaming, this mindset accepts responsibility. It asks, okay, what was my part in this? Instead of running from discomfort, it actually leans into it because it understands that growth only happens right at the edge of our comfort zone. Rather than escaping to that instant hit of dopamine, it delays pleasure, putting in the hard, focused work now for a much bigger reward later. And this is huge. It doesn't just put up with feedback. It actively goes looking for it, knowing that's the fastest way to get better. When you see them laid out side by side like this, it just makes the choice so clear, doesn't it? In any given moment, in any tough situation, we face this exact fork in the road. Are we going to default to the trap of blaming and avoiding, or are we going to consciously choose the path of responsibility and embrace that challenge? Okay, so knowing the difference is one thing. But how do we actually build that stronger mindset? How do we get ourselves out of the trap and onto the path? Well, the source gives us a really clear, actionable framework for this. I want you to think of this as your own personal mental gym. Step 1, build the muscle of discipline. You do this by intentionally doing things you don't feel like doing. That one small act of pushing through rewires your brain. Step 2, practice staying calm under pressure. When the stress hits, just take a breath instead of immediately reacting. That little pause creates the space you need to make better decisions. And third, learn to control your emotional reactions. Acknowledge the feeling, frustration, anger, whatever it is, but don't let it drive the car. You are in control, not your emotions. All right, now we get to what I think is the core insight of this whole thing. It's a pretty profound redefinition of what mental strength actually looks and feels like. And spoiler alert, it's pretty much the opposite of what you see in the movies. I absolutely love this. See, real mental strength isn't about being the loudest person in the room or being the most aggressive. It's about quiet composure. It's the ability to stay calm, to stay focused, and to be deliberate when everything around you is just chaos. It is internal control, not external force. And this is the ultimate takeaway. Think about how much energy we waste coming up with the perfect excuse for why we failed or why something is just too hard. The strong mind takes all that energy and puts it somewhere else. It focuses on training a better response for the next time. It's all about preparation over justification. So, as we wrap this up, theory has to become practice, right? The source leaves us with a direct personal challenge. This isn't about planning some huge life change tomorrow. It's about one small action right now. So here's the question for you. What is the first uncomfortable thing you are going to do today to start building that strength?